was an Axis in '06, purchased at Walmart. Removed the barrel, removed the stock. Bought these stocks a while ago from Numrich, or Gun Parts Corporation. They're under the BSA CF2 target model. They come with an adjustable butt, spacers, no cant adjustable, but it's adjustable for length and height, and it comes with a target rail. Most are birch. This one, if you buy enough, you get walnut. Inletting takes about 15 minutes for the Axis or a regular Savage action. This is single shot. I trued the receiver up. I was using the Savage precision receivers to build target rifles on. They're about $550. They're an excellent receiver. Then they came out with this, almost as rigid, and I say almost because I can't measure the difference, but they're apparently, now I put a 25 weight on the end of the barrel, both guns set up in a vise with a Starrett last word micrometer on the end, and there was no difference in either the precision receiver or the rigidity in the Axis. So I started playing with these. I drew up the receiver in a lathe, checked the depth of the locking lugs inside, and have yet to find any problems as far as trueness. I cut back the receiver, install a standard diameter recoil lug, and if you wanted to just do that in your Axis, you could, with the original stock, put it back in. If you take out the plastic recoil lug or the metal recoil lug that's in the plastic stock, this will fit right in. The trigger is an Accutrigger from one of the precision receivers. It is with one small modification of bolted. Modification will take you 2 minutes with a Dremel. And you don't absolutely have to do it, but it's better if you do. Completely adjustable down to 6 ounces, and it has the built-in safety to where if you drop the rifle at that low, the sear is not going to be released. The barrel was the expensive part. I usually use Schillen or Douglas. This one happens to be either a Schillen or a Montana Rifleman's barrel. I have a bore scope, beautiful barrel, found it in the new old stock, and it's a 6mm with a 1 in 14 twist, and I chambered it for 6 Thompson Center Ugalde, 6 TCU, which is becoming popular again. All it is a 223 case, necked up to 6mm with a 40-degree shoulder. I was shooting 6 PPC and 6 BR. Brass is expensive, not always available, and this brass is basically not an issue. I've had it out to the range twice now. First time just fire forming at 100 yards, I was getting 5-shot groups less than 3/4 of an inch. When I was using 80 grain blems just to fire form. Then I started using 70 grain spear TNTs, and I'd get 5-shot groups consistently under a dime. I'd put 48 rounds through it the first time, came back, waited for the next range day, reloaded, and went to the 200 and 300 yard. The rings are stock Weaver rings or whatever comes with it, iron sider, or the bases. The rings are B-square utility rings. I find them to be very good. I check the trueness and lap just to make sure they're aiming to the same point of the barrel, and install a scope. This is once fired brass, fire formed, and you can see the sharp shoulder. The reason I started using this is because, well, brass expensive is least expensive, and it'll fit in an AR platform, which is my next project. Everybody goes to the 6.8 or the 30 blackout. Well, the 6 TCU with a faster twist barrel will be pretty good. Fits in a regular AR mag, but it's proven to be very, very accurate. I have a no turn 265 reamer. I bought all the reamers that Bob White from Shooter's Corner had on his list for the 6x47, 6222 mag, 6222, 6223, and I ended up with the 6 TCU in this gun. I was going to rechamber the other guns, the 6 PPC and the 6 BR. They shoot well. Brass availability, now that everybody's shooting 6 BR, is become an issue. I mean, you can buy 100 rounds here and there, but they're never the same lot, and I'm not going to spend $1.50 a round for brass when I don't have to.
Let's see some of those targets, guy.
The TCU Fireform 200 yards. I was getting stringing. Like I said, I haven't done anything. I put the rifle together and was just checking function. This is at 200 yards. These are probably less than 20 rounds through the gun. That was 9.2. Here's 200 yards with the 75 grain blems. I was adjusting my scope. And then here's 300 yards, 3-shot groups with 75 grain Hornadies in 8208, which I was trying. It grouped fairly well.
What size group is that about?
It's about 3/4 of an inch, almost 7/8, and that's at 300 yards at our sheriff's range.
And how much more tweaking can you do to this gun to get it? I mean, you haven't really...
No, I haven't checked bedding. I haven't gone through. I mean, the barrel's barely broken in. I've done nothing to lock time or spring pressure on the bolt. I think with a little bit, because of the vertical stringing, it's either a pressure load or I can do a lot only with load ammo, because I'm just taking loads out of 20-year-old books when the 6 TCU was popular, and tried an 8208, which is a fairly new powder. Pretty happy with the results. First time out with the 6 BR.
So basically you could tighten that group up to maybe 1/2 inch or less, you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm capable of shooting a 1/2 inch with any gun at 300 yards.
Well,
I can get lucky.
What about 100 yards?
100 yards, the first groups when I was fireforming and I can't find the targets were, like I said, 5 shots under a dime consistently with the 75 grain, I think they were the TNTs or Sierras, and 5 shots under a nickel with the 80 grain blems at 100. So I'll be able to get it under a 1/2 inch consistently and hopefully less than 1/4 inch at 100. And I built it as a 100 yard, 200 yard gun.
So it's a 100, 200 yard gun. You think you get it into the 1/4 inch. So it's a pretty darn accurate gun, man.
Yep. And the axis action truly is remarkable. The way it was designed, it is very stiff. It's got enough material if you want to make a left load, right eject, if you wanted to mill it out, but I like rigid single shots,